Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Oklahoma City Metropolitan Area Public Schools Trust. First order of business is to approve the minutes of the March 15th, 2011 meeting of the Trust, and I would recognize a motion to that effect.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll vote. Passes. We have a application for suburban school district funding. Mr. Winger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have one application for your consideration today from the Midwest City Del City Public School District. It's for 3 school buses, total $236,607. You will notice in the second paragraph of the memo that we've provided that they still have a remaining amount of about $1.3 million available for them to expend. This application does meet all the requirements, and we do recommend approval.
Questions?
Move approval.
Been moved or second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. Next item is schematic design report. We're being asked to approve the schematic design report for Jefferson Middle School, Project ES71.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I introduce and bring back up Gary Armbruster with Myers Architecture Plus, we have included in this memorandum on the second paragraph, you'll notice that this project is significantly over the budget, but it's anticipated. The amount that you'll see here is $1,589,000. But when I made the presentation regarding the program contingency fund update in February, this was one of the projects at that time we knew was going to be over. So as I've reported the $13 million in February, that already takes into account the extra funds that are going to be required to complete this project. So it will have no impact on the program contingency pending your approval today. But with that, I'd like to invite Gary up and to make the presentation and answer any questions that you might have.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Again, I'm Gary Armbruster with Meyer Architecture Plus, and make sure this is it. There we go. I'm going to talk about the scope of the project, the site and facilities assessment, schematic design, the schedule, the estimate, and please feel free to ask questions at any point during the presentation. Jefferson Middle School will be a 7th and 8th grade facility once it's finished. We'll house 724 students. We will be remodeling about 134,000 square feet of area, so it's a big area to renovate. We'll bring it up to date as far as the site and facilities assessment is concerned, bring up all the code issues that are currently ongoing at the school, all the ADA, add fire sprinklers, etc. throughout the building. This is a short list of the many things that we will be doing at Jefferson Middle School, from repairing sidewalks, painting the interior and exterior, window replacement, lighting, flooring, ceilings, bleachers in the gyms, painting lockers, repairing plumbing, electrical, and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, fire lanes, hydrants, fire sprinkler system, asbestos abatement, handicap lifts, a number of items throughout, and this is just a short list of everything that we will be updating as part of the site and facilities assessment. This is a view of the site. Really no addition on this building. All 134,000 square feet of this project is renovation. We will be adding a fire lane on the back side of the building, but that's essentially it. You have enough parking currently at Jefferson, so no additional parking is needed at this time. This is a floor plan, and we've color-coded it to kind of help explain how we're going to do everything, with the extensive remodel in yellow, and that's essentially looking at a room and gutting it and starting over. You're tearing everything out and starting over. Major remodel is the area in green, and as you can see, that's about 75–80% of the school will have major remodel, and that's walls painted, new flooring, new ceilings in the public spaces, mechanical, electrical, plumbing improvements, and new lighting. The area of minor remodel is the tan or the orange area. That's walls painted, new flooring, mechanical, electrical improvements, and new lighting. And then the hatched area is limited work, if any. What we're going to do, since that was such a big plan, 134,000 square feet, it's hard to fit on a single page, kind of broken Jefferson into pieces, starting from the north end of the building and working our way to the south. But again, the color coding is the same. This is just a bigger view so you can see what's going to go in which locations. But as a general rule, where it says CL, SRM, that's classrooms, and they stay the same. They stay in the same locations. The walls are in the same locations, doors in the same locations, lockers, etc. Jefferson is in good shape, better than some schools that we've done. We've done other MAPS projects in the past, and Jefferson's in good shape, but it does have its share of issues from asbestos abatement, fire sprinkler, and things like that.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Where you're saying asbestos abatement, how have you determined where you will, we've had some issues where, you open up walls and you find asbestos issues that you didn't know about.
Yes.
How have you determined that?
Well, in the case, we don't know where everything is right now. As we get into the next phase, we'll do more in-depth study. But right now, one of the key things we found is the vinyl asbestos tile. In Jefferson, it's everywhere. We know if it's a 9x9 tile, it's probably asbestos, and every single classroom is covered. Like when we did Fillmore, about half the school had been abated when we came in. You could tell really quickly. In Jefferson's case, that's not the case. There will be, we have addressed areas in the next report for piping, areas where we're tearing walls down that we're going to specifically have that area checked for asbestos. So when we do the final bid documents, we have a better idea of where we're going to get into the issues and possible costs. Okay, this is the blow-up of the administration area. Again, about half of it is totally being remodeled. We're getting extra offices in there, and that's the area in yellow, and the area in green is major remodel. Design schedule, schematic design, August 2010 till March 2011. Preliminary design will start in June, or start now, be finished in June of 2011. Construction documents beginning in July of 11, ending in October of 2011. Bidding November, December of this year. And construction beginning at the end of this year and completing by the end of next year, 2012, December 2012. Budget, Eric already addressed this a little bit. Original program budget was $4.2 million, and we've divided this up so you can see it a little bit better. Compared to the base bid that are the original site and facility items that were in the project, we're at about $4.3 million. But when you add the additional items that kind of popped up during schematic design, needing a fire sprinkler system, asbestos, there was structural damage on the existing gym that needed immediate repair, or us to have a structural engineer look at immediate repair. We later determined that it could wait a little bit until we got this project bid out, but that was a big ticket item that was not originally addressed. So all those added up to about a $1.4 million worth of additional items, and that brought us to the $1.5 million over that Eric talked about. We do have 3 alternates that we're bidding right now. A new scoreboard in the gym, replacing drop-down gates in the building to kind of cordon off areas of the building after hours, replacing stage curtains and rigging system, and courtyard redesign and improvements. And we met with the principal yesterday, and they're actually trying to get grant money to renovate the courtyard, so hopefully they'll be successful in that. Questions?
Any questions?
Just one on the structural issues on the gym. Is it just limited to the gym, or did you find other structural issues?
It's just limited to the gym. It's glue lam beams, it's wood beams that are laminated together, and just over the years they've rotted. Had a structural engineer come out, looked at them. They do need to be fixed, but there's enough design in it now that it's not warranted to be done immediately like we first thought.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll recognize the motion to approve this schematic design report.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item is being asked to approve the final plans and specifications for Parma Lee Elementary School and authorize the Secretary to advertise for bids to be received May 3rd, 2011, Project ES 59.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. We're ready to proceed on Parma Lee. We do have Jack Joyner with us today from JHBR Architects to make the presentation.
Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon. My name is Jack Joyner with JHBR Architects, and this is our final design report for Parmalee Elementary. Can you start that over again for me? Thank you. Okay, scope of work for Parmalee Elementary, remodel, repair, in addition to the existing building, will accommodate 759 students when completed. Existing building is one story, approximately 36,000 square feet. The new addition will be two-story, 37,000 square feet. We'll have new spaces including classrooms, media center, and computer lab. Site work, we're going to provide new playground equipment, new landscaping, new fencing, repair sidewalks for ADA accessibility, provide additional parking to the site, and repair the paving. The scope of work for the existing building will have classroom renovation for second grade, third grade, and fourth grade in the existing building. We're going to renovate the kitchen, add a serving line, expand the cafeteria to allow for fewer lunch periods, renovate the administration. We'll provide new art and music classrooms in the existing building, all new finishes to include painting, flooring, ceiling, cabinetry as needed, update the electrical service. We have an add alternate to replace the windows, upgrade the fire alarm, replace doors and hardware, provide termite treatment, and provide new fire protection and security systems. The new addition will house kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, first grade, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade on the upper levels, provide a new media center, a new computer lab, and student and staff support areas. This is an aerial photograph of the existing site. We're in the vicinity of I-240 in Walker, Hudson and Southwest 66 to be exact. You see the existing school, the expansion area. To the east, you see the existing portables. I will note that when the project is complete, all portables will be removed from the site. This is what the new site plan will look like. You see our existing building in the yellow. The new addition to the east is blue. We have to the west, the existing student drop-off area. We are providing an add alternate for a new turnaround loop to provide more traffic control with the congestion that's currently there. You see existing staff parking, existing kitchen service drive to the north. We are going to provide a new visitor parking lot to the very north. You see a future gymnasium, classroom, designated area, and then also in the white, the renovated playground area. The first floor plan, in the yellow, once again, is the existing building. We will have a new security entry at the remodeled administration area. We will have the expanded cafeteria, as I mentioned earlier. All the classrooms get new interior finishes. We'll provide a new space for music and art. The existing media center will turn into a classroom and a teacher's work area. You'll see in the blue the new addition. To the west, we will have a new front entry piece, which will provide the vestibule and that security entry. To the east is a new addition. It does connect to the existing building at two locations. We'll have two corridors, kind of a racetrack corridor configuration. In the blue, you'll see the new media center, the new computer lab, pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade. We're going to keep the lower grade levels on the lower level. You also see an elevator and stairs to access the second level. Second floor plan, the yellow is just the rooftop of the single-story existing building. The blue, once again, is a new addition. Fourth, fifth, and sixth grade up on the upper level. See ESL classrooms, special needs classrooms, teacher's workroom, student restrooms, and once again, the elevator down to the lower level. Each of the exterior elevations, the north elevation, really all the elevations, you see the single story, which is the existing. The new addition is two-story, so we're going to match the existing brick and introduce some metal panels on the existing building and in the new. The south elevation, see the two-story. The west elevation, this is if you're looking at the existing front entry to the school, so we're going to dress up the front entry to establish that front entry and get an identification. You see the two-story addition in the background. The east elevation is if you were standing out in the playground area, and the two stories in the forefront, the single story existing is in the background. Cost estimate for the project, what you see here is we've got original program budget. Our estimate for our design It's broken into remodel items and new construction. If you look at the numbers, right now on the renovation, we are under $111,740. New construction, we're saying we're over $83,065. So put the two together, the original program budget, $6,953,350. Our estimate for our design is $6,924,675 for an under budget of $28,675. Our schedule, right now we're wrapping up Task 3, final design. We're asking approval going to bidding, receive bids in May, and then start construction in May of 2011. The phasing plan will start with a new addition in the blue. That will take approximately 12 months, May of 2011 through June of 2012. When that's complete, all the students from the existing building will move to the new addition. The portables will have to stay on site. Phase 2 will take June 2012 to December 2012. At that time, the portables will be removed, all the students will be in the existing building, a new addition, and then the final phase will be the parking lot to the north. And I will answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd recognize a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. Next item, we move into several change orders. First is one for Putnam Heights Elementary School. Mr. Wayne.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What you'll find in your packet today is we do have 9 change orders for your consideration today, and I think as I preface that, we have over 20 projects in construction, and so as we maintain that level of construction activity, I think as we look forward into the next year or more, you're going to see kind of the agendas move towards more change orders and fewer presentations because we're completing those designs and putting the last of the projects into construction. This first one, which is for Putnam Heights Elementary, this is a project that's substantially complete. We anticipate this being the last change order. It includes 7 items, $34,968. It represents about 1% worth of change. Total changes on the project are 9.2%. One of the largest change orders that we processed on the project was the media center revisions. When we actually found out that the media center was smaller than needed by the school, we did a redesign and included that as a part of a change order. The most significant on this is some roof access modifications. Item number 5, there's some roof platforms and ladders that are required for the safety of workers that are on the roof. And with that, I can answer any other questions that you have regarding this change.
Questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Favor? Passes. Second change orders is for Coolidge Elementary School.
Coolidge is a project that's about 90% complete in construction. You'll find 9 items on this change order. It's about 1.5% at $72,827. The total changes, including this, though, are about 2.5%. So the work is nearly complete, and we've actually held the change orders fairly low on this project. 26 days are being requested also as a part of a breezeway modification that you'll find in item number 3. You also see the second most significant item is item number 2. There's some additional window improvements. There's some window infill. We're finding corridors in the existing building that have some acrylic windows that actually make up the top portion of that wall. It was anticipated that the new ceilings could go and be supported on those, and they cannot. And so this is some additional structure that's required to make the ceiling work. The last item is item number 9. That's the most significant, some restroom upgrades for $12,630. I can answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions? I'd recognize a motion for approval.
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next change order. Change order number 7 for Lee Elementary School, an increase of $30,280.
Lee is nearing completion. It's at 95% today. There's 22 items on this change. It represents about 1% total on the contract, 8.5% when you combine the previous 6 change orders to this one. It also includes 45 days for some internet closets that were required to help improve the technology at that school. I wouldn't, of the numerous items that are on this change, the majority of them are just required for construction as we work towards the closeout. You'll find that the internet closets are item number 10. Internet, it's not internet, it's intercom cabinet closets. It's $3,800. You'll find some doors that are being infilled with item number 15, but you'll also find item number 22, which is a credit towards the project, where this architect has continued to work up until the end, that if there's things that aren't necessary, they're being removed from the contract, and we're taking advantage of that. Can answer any questions that you may have.
Questions? Seeing none, I'd recognize a motion for approval.
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item, approve change order number 3 for Linwood Elementary School, an increase of $17,875.
Linwood's about 70% complete in construction, 7 items. This one represents about 0.5%. There's no additional time requested here. Total changes to date are less than 3%, with the most significant being item number 4, which is some additional masonry repair. The other items, again, are necessary for construction. And again, I can answer any questions.
Questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item is approve change order number 1 for Thelma R. Parks Elementary School, increase of $27,755.34.
This is our first change order for this project. It's about 60% complete. So what you're seeing are several items as we work towards a project completion of this one in August. And so over halfway complete, about 1.5% worth of change. Again, most significant item is some signage replacement, which you'll find is item number 11. There were some existing signs not scheduled to be replaced, and it was found that they should be replaced. Again, questions, I'll be happy to answer those now.
Any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item is to approve change order number 1 for Buchanan Elementary School, increase $27,770.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. They're 20% complete on this project. Also a change order number 1, so the first that we've seen here, a little less than 1%. There's also 20 days included. It's for some weather delays. We also had a delay in the notice to proceed issued on this project. There were some utility conflicts that were identified, and so we had to actually delay that first initial order, but we actually held the date firm on completion, but we are extending that by 20 days. You'll notice a mixture of items on this change order, some which are credits, some which are adds. You'll notice the first 2, fire hydrant relocation and a piping modification, are credits. But then you'll see some of the additional items where you'll see that we've had to include some temporary classrooms, some soil replacement for some soils that were not sufficient, some insulation replacement as well. Can answer any questions that you might have.
Questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item is approved change order number 2 for Sequoia Elementary School, increase of $44,254.
This project's 25%, 9 items. This represents almost 1%, 1.7 total percent on the contract, no time included. Stage modifications is one of the significant items. Item number 1. You'll find item number 5. There's a water line modification that's required. You'll also see item number 8. There were some smart boards that were included as a part of construction that aren't a part of our design standard, and those are being removed for a credit. And then you'll find the last of the significant items, item number 9. There's some ceiling grid replacement that's now required for about $16,400.
Questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item, approve change order number 4 for Southeast High School, increase of $139,669.
Southeast is nearly complete. So this is one that we've done quite a bit of work, and if you were on South Shield, you'll see lots of those exterior improvements. You'll actually start seeing some of the contractor equipment being removed. 13 items, pretty significant change order, but it appears to be one of the last that we'll see on the project, $139,000, 2% on this change, just under 5% total. There's 57 days also included with this change that's for some additional stage curtain work. You'll find those stage curtains as item number 1, one of the more significant items at $49,317. You'll also find that there are some other items that are just coordination items like scoreboard electrical service, item number 5, and then the 2 other significant items, item 12, which are technology revisions. These are additional data drops in most of the classrooms. This provides increased network service in those classrooms for students. And then there's also new electrical service, wasn't complete in time. You'll find that item number 13 is for some temporary electrical for $10,000. Recommend approval.
when the school district makes a request, is it always within the educational and architectural standards that we've approved?
I wouldn't say always.
Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in this, on number 12 primarily, and this is not specific to Southeast, but this whole realm of technology and every student with a laptop that will need to be plugged in and have either wireless or hardwired data access, how much is that being considered in the construction schedules and final designs for all of the high schools, and I suspect all of the middle schools going forward?
So the technology standard that we've used for Maps for Kids is actually consistent from elementary to elementary, and then middle to middle, and then high to high school. And what the biggest difference is that we see is not necessarily the classrooms. All the classrooms are the same. They have 6 drops, so they can plug in up to 6 computers or voice over IP phones. But as we look at what is extra in addition to that, obviously the high schools have more computer labs. A typical computer lab has 30 drops. When we look at commons areas in high schools, when you look at media centers and things that are larger, you're going to start seeing the commons areas have wireless access. We provide, as a part of construction, all of the wiring that goes behind the walls or in the ceilings. As a separate technology item, you've seen us bring items to the trust where we actually purchase the equipment that then plugs into that. But the technology, at least from a construction standpoint, is standardized for all the schools. In the case for Southeast, they did not provide the 6 per classroom requirement. And so this actually brings the classroom requirement up to that 6 that we've done at all the other schools.
Thank you.
Other questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item is to approve change order number 2 for Northwest Classen High School, increase of $108,903.
Thank you. Northwest Classen's also proceeding. We've just started construction. It's about 15% complete. You'll find 10 items on this change order, a little less than 1%, a little more than 2% in total. You'll see a significant credit being taken for some auditorium seating modifications on item number 1, but you'll also find there's a very significant item, item number 7, which includes several components mostly related to the auditorium work. There's 80 accessories and signage, restroom fixtures, and 2 lifts, 2 ADA lifts that are required. The architect, when they were working through the plans, had not fully reviewed and developed the auditorium when this project was taken out to bid, and so when the permitting process began, this was a requirement of code to make this happen, and it's one of those that was an oversight. The architect did complete those plans. The work is required for construction, so it wasn't included in the original bid and must be included as a part of a change order. So there were no extra fees paid for the design for the required documents to be provided to the contractor, but we are including this work as a part of a change order to meet the code. And so that's the single largest item that's included here. We're recommending approval.
Questions? Seeing none, I'd recognize a motion for approval.
Move approval.
Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next, we are being asked to accept the Wilson Elementary School project and place the maintenance bond into effect, project ES-15.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Wilson project was substantially complete this past December. The punch list has now been 100% completed, and so we're able to bring to you the final acceptance of the project today. Clearly a successful project. This was the one, of course, that we had partners with Wilson Arts, Inc., and all that work has been completed. And so we're at the point now, if you may recall, with the final acceptance approval by the trust today, there is a balance of funds, some contingency funds that we held in safekeeping with Wilson Arts that will be returned that weren't required for some of the work that was anticipated. But this will close out the Wilson Elementary School project.
Questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next, we're being asked to approve expenditure of funds for the purchase of furniture, fixtures, and equipment for Thelma R. Parks Elementary School not to exceed $51,000.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. It's at the time of Parks that we're ready to order the furniture. This would be the desks and the chairs and all the items for the new addition. It does exceed the budget by about $11,900, but there are adequate project contingency funds to cover the difference in cost, and we are recommending approval.
Questions? Recognize a motion for approval.
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Mr. Couch, update and status report.
Mr. Chairman, a couple of things. We've had some bid openings in the last couple of weeks that have not gone well for us. Two in particular are the Cleveland bids received last week on March 29th. There were 5 bidders. Our budget was just over $3 million. The final plans estimate that was approved was 3.5, and it came in at $4 million. Staff and the architect and ADG are reviewing the bid information and preparing a recommendation for consideration at the next trust meeting. Today we received bids on Monroe Elementary. There were 7 bidders. The project budget again was about $3 million. The project estimate was 3.4. So that's, when we had the presentation here, we knew that we were a little ahead. And this one came in at $3.8 million. Again, staff, the architect, and ADG are reviewing the bid information, and we'll have a recommendation for you at the next meeting. Just in general comments, we've got about $13 million in program contingency. Both projects were expected to exceed the original budgets, but they exceeded more than we'd anticipated going into them. We're trying to understand the reasons for the additional costs. I understand that there's been a very much of a spike in copper costs regarding electrical bids. Our electrical has been coming a little bit heavy, but we don't, I think, fully understand why both of these came in as far over as they did. We've got some community events upcoming. Edwards ribbon cutting grand opening will be Friday, April 8th at 1 o'clock, and then Kaiser ribbon cutting grand opening will be Monday, April 11th at 1:30. And we have Brent Gooden here this morning from the Gooden Group, who's going to show us a compilation of grand openings we've had.
Here's no introduction. I'll let you watch the video, then we'll give you some context. Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Mr. Chairman, and members of the Trust. Glad to be with you. We'll give you a little bit, while you're already playing, you want to go ahead and play the video? You can reset it? Okay. We'll give you a little bit of a heads up. But real quickly, as you know, we're working with our colleagues in the Master Kids office on some community outreach, and we've had the privilege of working with them for over 8 years. During that time, the media landscape has changed rather dramatically. And one of the things that's happening these days is what's called social media. And so while we have had consistently positive coverage using traditional media, which would be something like the Oklahoman, the Journal Record, as well as the television stations, we're finding more and more that a lot of our communities and those involved in the Oklahoma City Public Schools are turning through social media platforms, and they're using their iPhones, and they're on Facebook. And so after discussions with our colleagues in Master Kids office, we decided to do a little experiment, if you will, and that is to send our digital video crew out and capture the excitement and electricity that is associated with these ribbon cutting and grand openings that we have on a regular basis. In fact, in the past, since the start of this year, we've held 6 celebrations, either groundbreakings or grand openings. And as you know, as the city manager just mentioned, there are more in the queue here. So we're very excited about this, and we wanted to give you a feel of the events, the energy that is associated at these events. And keep in mind, this is primarily for the children, for those at the school, but it's also an opportunity for us to do what we call in social media cross-pollination. So we are working with our colleagues at the Oklahoma City Public Schools, as well as with our colleagues here in the city of Oklahoma City, to begin posting, placing, and promoting and advancing these videos on a number of websites so that we can capture as many people as we can to see what's happening. I think you will agree with me when you see the video productions that the kids are really what make them truly exciting. And this is a great presentation about the transformation that is happening as a result of Master Kids and the cooperation and collaboration between the City of Oklahoma City and the Oklahoma City Public School System. So, Mark, if you would, start the video, and let me give credit where credit is due, and that is to Katie and to Will in our office, who are part of our video crew.
a lot of distinguished guests here.
Today was our groundbreaking ceremony for Southern Hills Elementary. They have already started the work in August, and it's with the MAPS renovation projects. It's for the students to redo the school, the classroom. We're adding on a library, computer lab, new office area, music room, art room. So we're going to have a lot of extra things that will really be nice.
3. Congratulations.
Putting you through the entire video again, and I'm sorry about some of the technical difficulties here. We'll just let you know what's going on. We have a very set template that we use when we have these groundbreakings and celebrations, and as you can see, one of the things is to involve the principals as the key spokespersons, and they express their appreciation to you and to the citizens of Oklahoma City, as you will see in their comments, for supporting them, for supporting Mass for Kids and making this happen. We also have a little fun group that is something you would see on Nickelodeon, or if you watch cable and you have young kids, that comes to these events and they play songs, and particularly the elementary students absolutely love it. They dance, they clap their hands, they have fun, and it's just a real neat little presentation designed for the kids to really get them involved. And then at the very end, to bring the community together, to do something that's very interactive and very much part of the community experience, we have very important biodegradable balloons that are released in the colors of the schools. And the kids just absolutely love that. And so that's how we really, as a finale, the climax, if you will, of those events. And it's a very celebratory, very exciting. And perhaps you'll see the video when it's posted on the website, because the principal at Putman Heights and at Southern Hills, but particularly the principal at Putman Heights, really uses his opportunity to thank you for your leadership and thank the citizens of Oklahoma City for the confidence and faith they have in investing in their school district to rebuild it for the sake of the children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any comments by trustees, staff, citizens? Thank you. We're adjourned.